Hi guys. So I want to make this video just to make sure that we are prepared for our upcoming quiz, which I've had to push back, but as of now I am still planning on having it this week on Friday the 7th. I believe that you were able to review a little bit while I was gone, but I wanted to just make one more video to cover everything that's going to be on the quiz. So it is your responsibility to watch this video to make sure that you are prepared. One thing that was not on the review sheet was graphing systems when we are not in the form y equals. So I'm going to go over two examples of that now because you can expect to see a problem like this on the quiz. So if we take a look at number 11, as you can see, neither one of these is written in the form y equals. So that means that we are going to have to move things around to get them in the correct form before we can graph it. So in the very first one, we have 5x plus y is equal to 4. So I need to get this y all by itself. So the way that I would do it is by getting rid of the 5x. And since that 5x is being added to the y, we're going to get rid of it by subtracting it on both sides, which is going to cancel that out. So now all we're doing is rewriting everything. So y is alone. Now, it is not incorrect to write 4 minus 5x. However, if we wanted in y equals mx plus b, it makes sense to write the term with the x first, so negative 5x, and then bring down the positive 4. So now we are in the form y equals mx plus b. I'm going to do the next one at the same time. So for this one, I also want to get y alone. I have to get rid of this x. Do not be confused. You are not adding x. This is not a negative x. It's a negative y. This x is positive, so I am going to subtract it on both sides, leaving me with a negative y is equal to, bringing these two down separately. First the negative x, then the positive 2. Now you're not done because there's a negative 1 in front of that y. So I'm going to divide that negative 1 by everything until I'm left with y alone. Now I have a negative 1 divided by negative 1, which is a positive 1x, or just x. And I have a 2 divided by negative 1, which is a negative 2. So now we can graph both of them. Let's start with the blue. So you can use your calculator fully to do this, and you could just look at a table. If you don't want to do it that way, you can do the m and the b way. M would be a negative 5 over 1, and b would be a 4. So you begin at the b, we begin at 4. And now my slope is negative 5. So we go down 5 and right 1. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. Doing it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm already off the grid. So these are the only two that I could fit. So I'm going to connect them. It's a very steep line. Let's make that a little better. Let's fix that. Also, you got to make sure that you are always including your arrows or you will lose points, and especially for systems you're labeling. I'm using the original equation, so 5x plus y equals 4. Okay, to the new one, the purple, over here, we have an m of whatever's in front of x, which is a 1. But again, everything should be in fraction form for m, so 1 over 1. B is a negative 2. You begin at the b. Begin at negative 2 on the y-axis. Then the slope is a positive 1, means up 1 and right 1. So up 1 and right 1. We overlap. That's okay. Up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. I can even go down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1. As many as you would like. The more the merrier. Connect the points. Make it straight. Put your arrows. Label the original, which is x minus y equals 2. And the whole point of this is finding the solution. Where do they cross? They cross at one point, which is right here. And I know it's a little bit hard to see, but that x value right here is at negative 1. And the y value is right here, which is also negative 1. So that is my solution. Negative 1, negative 1. Oh, I'm sorry, positive 1. I'm not paying attention. Positive 1, negative 1. Positive here. This is positive 1. Okay? All right, we're going to do just one more of that. So let's do, we'll do this one here. So, again, neither of these are in y equals. So if you take the first equation, I got to get rid of that x first. Don't ever get rid of the thing closest to the y first. Always do that last. So this is a positive x, subtracting it on both sides. I'm going to bring this up here. We're left with negative 4y is equal to, bring the x term first, then the constant, the term that's alone. Get rid of the negative 4 by dividing it by everything. Negative 1 divided by negative 4 does not divide. It stays, it just turns positive, 1 over 4x. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is a positive 1. So that one is completed. Moving to this one down here in purple. Get rid of the 5x first. Then we have negative 4y is equal to, bring the term with the x first, then bring down the 12. The negative 4 has to go, so we're going to divide it by everything. Cancel. Again, negative 5 divided by negative 4 cannot be simplified except for the negatives will go away. And 12 divided by negative 4 is negative 3. So going back to the blue, we have an m and a b. My m is 1/4. I don't need to turn it into a fraction. It already is. Beginning at the b is positive 1. So since slope is 1 over 4, that means up 1, right 4. So up 1, right 4 would be here. Down 1 and left 4 would be here. 3 points is all I can fit. Connect the dots. Draw your arrows and label with the original. X minus 4y equals negative 4. Okay, for the next one over here, m is 5 over 4, already a fraction, which is great. B is negative 3. You're going to begin at negative 3. This time you're going up 5, it's positive, and right 4. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 4. I overlap. I can't go anywhere else because if I try to go down 5, I'm off the grid. So I'm going to connect these two as best I can. Draw some arrows. Label with the original, which was 5x minus 4y equals 12. They do connect. I'm going to draw a nice big circle. My x was a 4. And over here, my y is a 2. So that's my solution. Alrighty? So that's as hard as they get in terms of graphing because sometimes you will have to get y alone. So that clearly took extra steps there. The only other thing I want to cover that will be on the quiz, which you may have done with Mr. John and Miss Virginia, but I'm going to cover it again, is substitution. I'm only going to do one of these problems. So with substitution, you're always going to look for the equation that has an x or a y alone. So if I'm looking at this problem, I can see right away that the first equation has y alone. And we should always remember that the equals means is. So this is saying y is x minus 1. So when you know what y is, you're going to use that information to then plug it into the next equation in place of in place of y. So we're going to rewrite the second equation, 2x minus 3. When we get up to the y, we're going to open up our parentheses and plug in an x minus 1. And then the rest of the equation. From here, I'm simply solving DCM, do cats meow. You're going to distribute negative 3 to x. Keep this 2x. Negative 3 to x is negative 3x. Negative 3 to negative 1 is positive 3. Bring down the rest. After distribute, we look for C, combine. I can combine 2x minus 3x to get negative 1x or just negative x. Bring down the rest. I'm going to continue. Two-step equation. Get x alone. Subtract 3 on both sides. Cancel. This becomes negative 4. Divide both sides by negative 1. And you're left with x equals 4. You know you are not done until you have an x and a y. So plug that number back into the original, which was y equals x minus 1. And now you just plug in x. X is 4, so y equals 4 minus 1. Very easy. 4 minus 1 is 3. So your point is 4, 3. And that's how you do substitution. So these are the types of problems you're going to expect to see. It should not be a long quiz. I'm going to see, can you graph 2 equations at once? Do you remember your arrows? Can you label? Can you find the point where they intersect? Can you get y alone if you have to? And can you solve a substitution problem? Okay, so please make sure you watch this. You guys are 9th grade. This is your responsibility, whether it's been there or not. I've taught all this to you, and you've had time to watch videos and add puzzles on all this. So hopefully you guys will be prepared. All right, see you soon. Bye.